ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਲੀਡਰ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਪੀਅਰ ਪੋਲੀਵਰ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕੁਝ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਗਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਵੋਗੇ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਨੋਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗਾ। ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮਰ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਤੋਂ 416 502 3100 ਤੇ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੁੰਦਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਊਡ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਨੇ। ਨਿਊ ਮਿਲੇਨੀਅਮ ਟੈਕਸ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਹੋਮ ਲਾਈਫ ਸਿਲਵਰ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵੈਨ ਡਾਈਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਾਸਲਿਆ। ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਲੀਡਰ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਪੋਲੀਵਰ ਜੁੜ ਗਏ ਨੇ, ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਮਿਸਟਰ ਪੋਲੀਵਰ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ। ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਵਾਇਸ।
Thank you for having me. It's great to be with you.
Thank you for joining us. And we are Canadian, especially South Asian Punjabi and South Asian community. We are very thankful. You have some time for us, and thanks for joining me.
Great to be with you. Thank you for hosting me on your show.
Mr. Poliver, I have a couple of questions regarding our affordability, housing, inflation. So I want to start with Bank of Canada policies related to interest rate have created major upset in our economy. They have been either late in controlling inflation or contributing to inflation. How would a conservative government led by you restore normalcy and accountability?
Well, to start with, the cost of government is driving up the cost of living. $500 billion of inflationary deficits by Justin Trudeau are bidding up the costs of the goods we buy and the interest that we pay. Then inflationary taxes like the carbon tax are increasing the costs for workers and businesses to produce those goods. The more Trudeau spends, the more things cost. It's a just inflation. The solution is to stop printing all this money, stop the overspending, and instead I would bring in a law requiring government find $1 savings for every dollar of new spending measures. I would eliminate wasteful spending, like Trudeau gave 1,500 prisoners CERB checks. He gave CERB checks to dead people. There's $29 billion of suspicious spending, according to the Auditor General, that happened during the pandemic. And the waste continues. The cost of the Senate is up 70% since Trudeau took office. So this spending is not benefiting people. It's just driving up costs. I would get rid of the waste and cap the spending. I will get rid of the carbon tax to lower the cost of gas, heat, and groceries. And I'll remove the red tape so that our businesses can build more homes, our farmers can grow more food, and our workers can produce more affordable energy for Canadian consumers.
Mr. Poliver, if today you were Prime Minister of Canada, would you say that Canada is a solid footing when it comes to the serious issues such as ensuring care of aging population, future of young generation, ability of younger generation to buy a house, inflation, and our debt load?
No, look at the facts. Inflation hit a 40-year high this year. In fact, interest rates are rising faster than at any time in monetary history. The 1 in 5 Canadians is eating at a food bank. 1 in 5 Canadians is cutting back on meals because they can't afford food. 1.5 million Canadians ate at a food bank in March alone, and the food bank in Mississauga even reported that some of its clients have come in to ask for help with medical assistance in dying, not because they're sick, not because they're injured, but because they're hungry and they can't go on living in poverty. This is an unsustainable situation. It is unacceptable that Canadians are living in this kind of poverty under Justin Trudeau. That's why I'm running for office. My parents raised me to believe that it didn't matter where I came from, but where I was going. It didn't matter who I knew, but what I could do. And that's the country I want my kids to inherit. I want the people to have the opportunity, if they work hard, to achieve their dreams. That's something that's not happening right now, and we're going to fix that when I'm Prime Minister.
Mr. Poliver, next question is related to the Mr. Trudeau immigration policy. Immigration is a crucial part of Canada's success, and current government led by Justin Trudeau, has set a target of 500,000 immigrants per year. Where does Conservative, led by you, stand on this approach? And what is your vision to ensuring timely and quick transition of foreign-trained professionals into Canadian workplace?
Yeah, so we think that economic immigration should be driven by employment. It should be easy and fast for businesses that cannot find Canadians to fill jobs to sponsor, first of all, temporary foreign workers who can then quickly become permanent residences and citizens. And we need this to be fast and seamless. Right now, it's very slow. There are 2.2 million people in the backlog waiting for immigration processing. Over 1 million of them are past the service standard. Trudeau can't manage the immigration system. It's broken. He's taking forever to process them. We need to speed it up, get answers so we can unite families, fill vacant jobs, help businesses grow. But also, you asked a second question about foreign credentials recognition. We have thousands of trained doctors who can't practice, same with other professionals. So, for example, right now, only 43% of immigrant doctors are able to practice medicine. Only 36% of immigrant nurses are able to work in nursing. That's because the licensing bodies don't allow them to do the job. So I would sign deals with the provinces to speed up recognition so that an immigrant gets an answer within 60 days of applying to work within a profession based on his tested abilities, not based on where he comes from. We also need to back up 30,000 small study loans for immigrants who need time off work in order to study up to the Canadian standard. And I would create a system for future immigrants to begin getting licensed to practice before they even arrive, so that while they're waiting to come here, they can work with a licensing body to get their paperwork done and then arrive ready to work in their field. So in other words, remove the gatekeepers, get big, powerful paychecks for our immigrants, more doctors, nurses, and engineers for our economy.
Thank you. Mr. Poilievre, next question is directly related to the South Asian community. The current government has been slow on processing refugee application of Sikh Hindu that have been displayed or under continuous threat. They are living in Afghanistan. What do you view on this file?
Well, we have to speed up processing for all immigration applications. It's untenable to have people living in refugee camps waiting when they are legitimate refugees and they could be processed to come live here. I'm pledging to eliminate the backlog of applicants who are past the service standard. We're going to speed it up by in demanding better performance from the immigration department. And that way we can save lives, unite families, and fill vacant jobs here in Canada.
Mr. Poilievre, I just want to remind you, you are a statement in House of Commons. You told in House of Commons, we need tougher sentencing for repeat violence offenders. We are in GTA, especially in Peel region. There is a lot of carjacking, car thefting, and gun violence. What's your take on that if you will be the Prime Minister?
Well, Trudeau's got the wrong target. He keeps going after hunting rifles. Hunting rifles are not the problem. The problem is repeat violent offenders. I'm not talking about a young person who makes one mistake. I'm talking about the repeat violent offender who uses firearms over and over again as a weapon against fellow citizens. The second problem is the illegal smuggling of guns. The Toronto City Police said that 80% of guns used in crime in Toronto are illegally smuggled in from the United States. It's not the licensed and lawful firearms owner that's causing the problem. It's the gangsters and gun smugglers who are bringing guns across the border illegally. So I would take the money and put it into bolstering the border and stop the importation of these illegal guns so that we can protect our streets and make people safe again.
Mr. Poilievre, it is worth Canada afford. The Trudeau government, they want to recover assault rifle guns and hunting gun, and it could be cost the Canadian taxpayer about 4 to 6 billion. It is worth to recover these kind of guns and pay the money to the people?
Look, I don't see how going after hunting rifles for Grandpa Joe in Timmins is going to make life any safer for your average person in Brampton. There's no, it's not hunting rifles for First Nations people or farmers that are shooting up our streets, illegal handguns that are smuggled in over the border. So why not take that same money and use it to bolster the border and stop the smuggling instead of spending it going after lawful, licensed, trained and tested firearms owners? The people who have licenses to own firearms they have to go through training, they have to be tested, they have to be vetted by the RCMP, and they have to have a safe storage procedure in their own home. They can only transport their firearms in a direct line between their home and the destination of use. So all of those controls are already in place. The people following those rules are not the ones doing the crime. It's the criminals who have illegal guns. Let's go after them instead.
Mr. Poilievre, just last question. This is also related to the South Asian, especially Punjabi diaspora. The Canada just signed air agreement with India, and it included no direct link between Canada and a city of state of Punjab, even though we have almost more than 2.5 million Canadians that trace their roots to Punjab. Do you support this demand, and would a government led by you to push for this and ensure your minister and government will ignore the community anymore?
I'm sorry, I have to confess I'm not familiar with this, with the question. If you would elaborate on it, I'd be better able to answer it.
Yeah, actually, recently the Canada and India government, they signed open air agreement with India, unlimited flights. Yes, yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I misheard you. And yes, and you're saying that there should be direct flights to the Punjab.
Yes, this is my question.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with you on that. I think we definitely have the population here to justify it, and it would save valuable time. Everybody hates the many stopovers that are required for Canadians to get to other parts of the world. And I think there's more than enough people of Punjabi descent in Canada that would justify us having a direct flight to the Punjab from Canadian departure points. So I would support that.
Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Pierre Poilievre. And lastly, if you want to say anything to our listener, our South Asian community, in the morning time, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, well, I think it's time we put people back in charge of their lives. People are more desperate now than they've ever been. The cost of government is driving up the cost of living. Government bureaucrats stand in the way of success. We need to remove those obstacles and unleash the potential of all of our people to, regardless of where they come from, as long as they work hard, they should have the freedom and opportunity to fulfill their dreams. And that's what I'm going to make possible when I'm Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pierre Poilievre, to joining our show, and have a fantastic day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, bye now.
Bye now. Mr. Pierre Poilievre, opposition leader and leader of Conservative Party of Canada. ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ 10-15 ਮਿੰਟ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ। ਮੋਸਟ ਆਫ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟੈਕਸਟ ਮੈਸੇਜ WhatsApp ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਵਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਲਾਹੇਵੰਦ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਸੋ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ 10-12 ਮਿੰਟ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਤੇ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਪਾ ਦੇਣਾ।